This is lesson 50, quadratic equations. Now we've learned how to factor quadratic equations, haven't we? Yes, we have. And to binomials, we know two ways. Either we look at the last number, right? The last number that has no variable, and we find factors of it such that when you add them together, you get the coefficient for the x raised to the 1 exponent, right? You've also learned conjugates, right? If I have x squared minus a squared, then you know that it's x minus a and x plus a. That the binomials factored are conjugates, right? Mm-hmm. What if you can't factor it? Because like our, I can't even think of one. X squared plus x minus 6. So that's x plus 3 and x minus 2, right? Because the factors of 6 multiply, give you negative 6, added together gives you positive 1. What if you can't come up with factors of the last term such that added together it doesn't give you this coefficient? You can complete the square. Do you remember this? Okay. Well, let's learn, okay? When you complete the square, let's look at a practice problem. 50.1 on page 218. So we have x squared plus 6x minus 4 equals 0. Okay? The first thing you're going to do is isolate your terms that have x. Move everything else to the other side. So I'm going to move my 4 to the other side. Okay? I'm left with x squared plus 6x. I'm going to leave a space equals 4. Okay? You're going to take the coefficient to x to the first exponent. You're going to take half of it and square it. Okay? It's called completing the square. This is really 3 squared, right? Yes? Which is 9. We're going to add 9 to both sides of the equation. Okay? I can now factor this side of the equation. Okay? And it's, what was in here? A 3? X plus 3. It's always going to be this number. X plus 3 equals, what? 13. Watch this. Isn't this the same as x plus 3 squared? Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. Equals 13. Now what can I do? Take the square root of both sides. And we have x plus 3 equals plus or minus the square root of 13, right?
You have to check.
When we take the square root, do we check?
No.
No. Good job. Good remembering. Okay, so I'll move the 3 to the other side though, right? X equals plus or minus the square root of 13 minus 3. Okay, so what do? We take the coefficient of x to the first power, take half of it, square it, add it to both sides. That's the only way we do not change the value of the equation. Okay? All right, let's work 50.3 on page 219. All right, so I have x squared equals 5x minus 5. I could move everything over first, and I would ask myself, do I have factors of negative 5 such that if I add them together, I get well, it would be, I'll be on the other side. Positive 5 such that I would get negative 5. That would be two negatives, right? Negative 5 and negative 1 is negative 6. It will not work. So, I'm going to move my 5x over and then complete the square. So I'll end up with x squared minus 5x, leave my space, equals negative 5. Okay? I take my negative 5 because in algebra, the sign attaches to the number, right? So I have negative 5 halves squared, which is what? 25 fourths, right?
Would be not negative.
It's not negative, right? But what's under here is what I'm going to have squared, x minus 5 halves squared. Okay? I am going to add 25 fourths to both sides. Both sides, plural. So let's change negative 5 to something over 4. If it's over 4, then it's what? Negative 20 plus 25 over 4. It's positive 5 fourths. Okay? I take the square root of both sides. You with me? Yes?
Why is it x minus 5 halves?
Okay. If I will prove it, it's always whatever is within your parentheses that you're squaring. Because if I do x minus 5 halves times x minus 5 halves, I am going to get this. Watch. That's x squared minus 5 halves x minus 5 halves x. So a negative times a negative is going to be a positive. That's 25 fourths. Okay, I can add these, right? That'd be minus what? 10 halves x, and that's 10 over 2 is 5. Look, x squared minus 5x plus 25. I am, but I'm proving to her that it is x minus 5 halves, right? Okay? All right. So I am, okay, square root. X minus 5 halves equals plus or minus the square root. Actually, I could put the square root of 5 over 2. I can unsquare 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because this is the same thing as the square root of 5 over the square root of 4. All right, so I add 5 halves on both sides. X equals 5 halves plus or minus the square root of 5 over 2. Okay? Completing the square, right? Isolate your variables to one side, numbers to the other side. Take the coefficient of x raised, or a, or whatever the variable is, raised to the first power, half of it, square it, add it to both sides. What your binomial is going to be is what is in the parentheses. Your coefficient over 2, squared, and equals whatever you come up with on the other side of the equal sign. Okay, you follow that? Okay, good. All right, let's,
Can we do some more like that?
yes, but go ahead and be done. Brian.